These are icy and dangerous valleys in the higher reaches of Himalayas, and this is the famous and fabled Mana Pass Valley along the Indo-China border. Only the bravest and the fittest can survive here. This brings in the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, India's #1 highly adaptable force, a force to be reckoned with. Himalayas, the giver of life to India. Himalayas, the place where gods live. Icy heights where air cuts through your bones. This place has less oxygen as you go higher in Himalayas. Not many venture out here along the highly tricky and confusing international border between two countries. This place is so huge in scale inside the mighty Himalayas, where natural landmarks still separate Indian and Chinese territories on the ground, an international border that is not yet marked as per the Vienna Convention. And this has made the task a lot more difficult for men and women of the ITBP, the elite guards of the Valley of Gods. Quadrant Mana Pass at Buthring Heights. Rajya Sabha Television brings you a super exclusive series of special programs on the men and women of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, a force that was so secret that its existence was not disclosed for well over 20 years when it was raised in 1962. Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force is deployed all along the Chinese borderline adjoining Tibetan Plateau in the Himalayan territory. Of late, ITBP battalions have been moved deep inside the Abuchman forest in Chhattisgarh, chasing Naxalites. Almost the entire ITBP's army is deployed along the Chinese borderline adjoining the Tibetan Plateau and Himalayas. Soon after military setbacks in 1962 war with China, a need was felt to create a specialized armed force to protect our borders in the north. It was not an easy task since controversial Chinese borderline was running alongside the upper reaches of Himalayas. Our neighbor miscalculated us to believe that India will neither be able to raise a new armed force in this difficult territory, nor be able to maintain it during the difficult months of winter, when most mountain passes and roads in the Himalayas are blocked and access cut off from the rest of India. But as it turned out, that was not the story which unfolded in the years following 1962. A super exclusive force, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, came into being. Its existence was kept top secret during the first 20 years. It was in effect an undeclared and undisclosed true guerrilla force. Its primary task was to protect our northern limits at all cost and make sure that 1962 is never repeated again. But for the first time ever, and world exclusive only on Rajya Sabha television, all the secret weapons that ITBP were issued as guerrilla force in the early 60s and 70s. At that time, these were the world's best weapons for mountain warfare required to defend our difficult border. Many were fitted with super silencers so that when bullet is fired, our enemy would never come to know. These exotic weapons would appear as if they have been taken out straight from the secret armory of James Bond 007. In fact, many of them actually were. ITBP veterans have fond memories of using these weapons in all kinds of war game scenarios. This is how the ITBP was made of, and this is what ITBP is now. They live and operate in the most difficult geographical limits on this planet, from the unimaginable parts of snow peaks to the depths of icy waters, and of lately to the uncharted and darkest forest area of Abu Chuman in Chhattisgarh. An all-in-one force. And to keep the morale of the force in high spirits, top leadership of the ITBP is often seen visiting remote areas and BOPs along the Indo-China border.
Border with Tibet is nearly 3,500 kilometers long.
3,500?
Yeah. We start from Karakoram Pass in Ladakh, and then you go down all the way to Jachepla in Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay, that's the eastern point?
That is the eastern point. We have currently 169 BOPs, 32 battalions.
How your troopers cope it?
The ITBP has specialized in mountaineering, skiing, and from day one an ITBPian gets used to this kind of a life. But having said that, it's a very tough life.
For a devout Hindu believer, Mana Pass Valley, beginning from the line of sight of Shri Badri Vishal at the Badrinath temple, is a sacred place, a pilgrimage place. According to legend, Pandavas took this Mana Pass Valley route when they left us. During the 1962 war, this sacred Mana Pass Valley was a brutal target by the enemy. Our friendly/unfriendly neighbor had brought sudden death to many of our brave soldiers here, but not anymore. The brave men from the ITBP have now virtually sealed every square inch of Gotten Mana Pass. They live here 24/7. Recently, ITBP has begun recruitment of women in their combat wing. Many from their first batch are expected to be posted at various BOPs at these great heights in the Himalayas. Seeing was believing. Women in full battle regalia, combat ready and charged up. They know fully well where they have volunteered. In a short span of time, each one have mastered rapid fire. In fact, continuous rapid fire. Each bullet hitting target bullseye. Since it's a specialized force, ITBP has a distinction of raising a small batch of women snipers. Just do not go by their sharp features. Their firing skills are razor sharp. We saw them being trained at ITBP's mother station at an upcoming and India's first baffle firing range. They're taught to listen to their heartbeats and fire in between the two beats. Only the best sniper takes the pole position. Training regime is tough and tightly time-bound. That leaves very little time for lunch or dinner. News about creation of ITBP's Jhansi Rani Battalion has sent shivers down the spine among the left-wing extremist groups in Chhattisgarh. The visiting RSTV crew was also informed that first batch of women ITBP combat soldiers will be posted in the Mana Pass Valley area beginning from April-May 2016. Recruitment of women soldiers in ITBP is indeed a matter of great national pride. During the retreat ceremony, the entire village at Mala comes out in small lanes and by-lanes to worship gods, praying that when the valley shuts down, take care of their holy place.
ये गांव जो है पुरातन काल से ही माइग्रेटरी गांव रहा है। पूर्व में 1962 से पहले जो भारत और तिब्बत के बीच में जो व्यापार था वो हम लोग किया करते थे, लेकिन 62 के जो चाइनीज एक्सकवेशन हुआ इसमें तिब्बत के ऊपर, तब से यह बॉर्डर सील किया गया है। और हम लोगों का जो माइग्रेशन के बाद जो यहाँ की सिक्योरिटी रहती है वो भारत तिब्बत सीमा पुलिस के हवाले किया जाता है। तो एक अच्छा रिलेशन है ITB के साथ लोकल लोगों का।
When Badrinath temple is closed during its winter break, and when the entire village community of Mana migrates to the lower reaches of Himalayan plains, it's only the ITBP that operates here. The post commandant lead the charge from the front. When the world sleeps, these hardy men from the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force will continue to dominate India's territorial boundary. That includes physically verifying the very last milestone at 0 point in Mana Pass, where ownership of Indian territory ends and the Chinese boundary begins.
बद्रीनाथ बंद हो गया। इसके बाद सिविल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन यहाँ का जो है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी और मोबाइल टावर सेवा बंद कर देगा। कुछ दिनों के बाद ये इलाका पूरा स्नो बाउंड हो जाएगा। सरफेस रूट जो है पूरी तरह से बंद हो जाएगा और व्हीकुलर मूवमेंट टोटली ऑफ हो जाएगी। हमारे जो जवान या ट्रूप्स जो मूवमेंट करेंगे ये पूरा अपना पर्सनल बैगेज लेके, पर्सनल वेपन लेके ऑन फुट फीट बर्फ में माना चौकी का डिस्टेंस तय करेंगे। कंट्री से रिलेटेड या नेशन की सिक्योरिटी से रिलेटेड मामला है, तो इसमें कोई भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करते हम।
Both the ITBP as well as the militia from the China border guards frequently leave small mementos as telltale signs right at the 0 point Mana Pass. It's a different kind of war game being played here at the icy heights, apparently to test each other's wits. When the RSTB crew was camping at an advanced border post along the Chinese drop line, a returning ITBP patrol has just collected a small plastic bag with these Chinese markings containing 4 beer cans. This dangerous parcel was left behind by a Chinese border patrol, apparently to test ITBP's preparedness. The problem arises when the unwanted face-off happens at the border between ITBP soldiers and the patrolling party from the PLA, the People's Liberation Army of China. To tackle this tricky situation, ITBP has been issued 2 separate banners to be shown to Chinese during a face-off situation. This is world exclusive and only on Rajya Sabha television. The content is clearly written both in the international English as well as in the Chinese language. Orders from Raisina Hill are clear: do not engage the counterpart at the China border. No weapons are to be pointed at each other, only these messages of peace to be shown via the red banners. And when the tension dies down, under the bright sunshine, it's the game of cricket and only cricket. It's not a secret anymore, the world knows it, that Indo-China border line is known as the most disputed peaceful border in the world.
How do you cope with the enemy, the enemy on the other side?
First of all, let's not call anybody enemy.
Okay.
The people on the other side, they are a friendly nation. We are a friendly nation. We would like to become more and more friendly every day. Some bits of the Indo-China border are very, very clear. But most of it is the kind of terrain you cannot really say that this is really the border. You have landmarks. And from one landmark to the other landmark, you connect and say, okay, this is the border.
No pillars on the ground?
No pillars.
This memorial reminds everyone that those who serve the nation in this sacred valley of the gods at Mana Pass are the chosen ones. A true soldier of the motherland who makes sure that each and every Indian sleeps well in the night as he stands guard at an unimaginable location on the India's map, about which only he knows what really happens on the ground.
This was a very special episode on ITBP, in fact a first in a series of its kind. Indo-Tibetan Border Police, a force whose name spells out only 2 things: valor and commitment of a rare kind. With my cameraman colleagues Dushmanta and MS Suresh, this is Vineet Dikshit for the National Security Series. Sir, thanks a lot for speaking to Rajya Sabha Television. It's been a pleasure, sir.
My pleasure entirely.